Welcome back. We have with us Dr. Darrell Bock as he shares more on cultural Christianity. Dr. Bock, what would you say are the top two important things you have learned from working in your position, as you would share that with a pastor or pastoral trainer, anyone who wants to serve in these areas? What might be those two most important things you would say in terms of doing ministry in this area?
Well, I would say that the most important thing by far is to have a theology of cultural engagement, to actually think through how the church should speak into this space. It's normally done by challenging and being opposite the world and almost creating an us and them. I think that actually gets in the way of the invitation that comes with the gospel. The gospel comes with both a challenge to the way people live, which is why we need Jesus' forgiveness, but also with the statement about Jesus offers to people and why God took the initiative to save them, why God hasn't turned his back on people, even though, we are struggling with sin and struggle with the fallenness of the world. And so balancing that well in your cultural engagement by having a good cultural engagement theology is important. So I tell people, we tend to view people who oppose us as opponents to be defeated, but actually they are people to be gained. And the battle that we have is a spiritual one. This is Ephesians 6:12. For our battle is not against flesh and blood. If I said it right, I would say not against flesh and blood. That's emphatic. But against the spiritual forces, it's continually described. So it's a spiritual battle, which means that there are transcendent spiritual forces that have people in their clutches and in their grasp that are doing damage to people. And our job is to rescue that person who's in the clutches of those forces and may not even realize it. And so in the midst of that I say, if you view the person sitting across from you disagrees with you in that way versus as an opponent to be defeated or crushed, that's going to change the way you're going to relate to them and the way you're going to talk about life with them. So that is by far the most important thing, is to actually have a good theology of cultural engagement. Other texts talk about our engagement being with meekness and respect. So how we address others is also important, the respect that we communicate to them. So I would say those two things, understanding what the nature of engagement is supposed to be and the demeanor or tone we're to bring to it, while recognizing we're always challenged by the tension between the challenge that the gospel offers to people on the one hand and the hope that is contained within it. And if we just challenge and we don't offer hope, we sound like a person complaining, saying, "You dirty rat, you shouldn't be doing that." And there's no hope in that message. So we always want to engage in such a way that hopefully we leave a sense of hope or direction to what it is that we say as we engage.
Excellent. And as a person, how has this knowledge or experience helped to shape you?
Well, I think it's made me less combative in the public square and come with an appreciation. There's another thing that we say about engagement is that you need to never forget where you came from when God saved you. That every person starts in the same place with their back turned to God. And that God reaches out to us, taps us on the shoulder, gets our attention, draws them to himself, etc. So I don't bring anything inherently to this conversation on the basis of who I am that puts me in a position to be condescending or talking down to someone or something like that. That what I need to do is I am a person who comes alongside another person and says, here's a great place to find out what life is all about, and it's in knowing God. And when I do that alongside someone, I put myself in a better position than when I kind of get in their face and say, oh, everything that you're doing is wrong.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Stay tuned while we come back tomorrow, day 3, as we share on some of the what the next 5 to 10 years might look like for this role of ministry as Dr. Bock continues to work in cultural engagement. Thank you for joining us.